Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the TSRC Sports Car Challenge for the final round of the season here at the Red Bull Ring. And, well, in the GT4 category, the championship isn't so close, with Kieran Sharp being pretty much, I'd say, one hand and four fingers on the title, whereas in the LMP3 category, we've still got theoretically 4 drivers in the fight, realistically probably only 2, but there is still the others left behind that, depending on what can happen in the race, can still get themselves a chance to take it. So, yes, on the LMP3 side, I'm still very interested. For the championship on the GT4, it's pretty much sorted out, and I think this is a very nice track to end the season off, isn't it, Biggles? It's a lovely track. There's only 10 corners, but I think, the amount of corners doesn't really matter. I think either way, this is a track I'd love to watch race on in any series.
Yeah, absolutely correct. 10 corners, 8 to your right and 2 to your left. Just 2 right in the middle sectors. There's 5 sectors, of course, that's been divided up here. We're used to 3 seconds we're talking about in the green room. But 5 sectors, so more punishing in, obviously, on the left-hand side of your car with your tyres. But also another thing to look out for, of course, is going to be traffic here this evening because they're going to be bunched up on this relatively short track. So that's going to be very, very interesting that any situation for the GT4 battles you said that, the LMP4s are going to have to get in there and find a way around them. And that's definitely, whilst they're racing, of course, going to be opportunities or misfortunes for some of the drivers.
Indeed, and I think if you look at the circuit itself, between turns 4 and turns 10, there's only realistically one place you can really get past, which is that little bit of a straight before turn 9. Other than that, there's not really much space for these LMP3s to get through on the GT4. So I expect we could see a bit of battling between the two classes in that second sector. I expect we'll also see maybe a few incidents between different cars in that second sector. But we've got a few cars out on track for the 10-minute qualifying session, which has just begun. And we've got obviously the likes of Bash Ultra, hasn't been with us since, I believe, round 3, so it's nice to see him back. Obviously, he was a race winner earlier on in the season. We've obviously got the people fighting the championship, which is, of course, we'll have a quick look at the standings now. Obviously, Gurgly Kunstable leads them away on 146 points. 6 points back is Nick Clibbons on 140. Then Maurice Pickler in P3 on 129. Then Thomas Martin in 4th on 118. So as we said before, realistically, it's between Gurgly and Nick. But just say something happens with those two and they end up being DNF'd, then it's a perfect opportunity for Maurice and Thomas to try and take it away with the GT4 category. Sorry, we can see as well once it loads onto my screen. Obviously, Kieran Sharp take a victory last time out in round 5, which I unfortunately wasn't here for. He's on, I believe, 144 points with Jack Safefield, who isn't racing here today due to being ill. He's on 151, meaning it's pretty much a done deal, isn't it, for the GT4s? I think Kieran Sharp, throughout this season, Biggles, he might not have been the quickest, but I think he's been the most consistent by a long shot.
Well, here's the boss man right now, riding on board. He's going to give us a hot lap. He's taken through turn 1. There's the kink in turn 2. And up the hill, overtaking opportunities into turn 3. Here we go. Right on board. Give us a hot lap, please.
In towards turn 3 he goes. Up to the right-hand side, obviously a bit of a hill as you exit the corner. Then you head down a bit more of a hill, downwards in towards turn number 4. Obviously, I'm used to commentating the Formula 1 cars over here, not the GT4, so it's a bit of different machinery, and this car controls a lot different to a Formula 1 or even an LMP3. Indeed, they'll head down in towards turn number 4, brake just after that 100-metre wall, throw the car into the right-hand side, keep it on that curb on the exit. You can afford to run wide on that curb to get yourself more maximum speed on the exit of the corner. Then you'll head through in towards turn 6 and 7 at the double left-hander. Just yet again, throw the car in, throw everything at it, try not to go too wide, as the understeer in these cars is quite prominent as you head through. Very nice line through there. Then in towards turn 7, back to the left. Then you'll have a bit more of a kink at the right at turn 8, and just yet again keep the foot down on the pedal as you come through. Use all the curbage as you can. You can go quite wide around this circuit without getting any track limit violations. As we can see now, this is obviously net championship leader Kieran Sharp heading through towards turn 9 to the right. Use as much curve as you can. Try not to run wide on the exit turn on in towards turn 10. Use that inside curb, run wide on the exit up towards line. We'll see what one of the first times will be in the GT4 category. So Tom Davison goes quickest with a 1 minute 37.371. Andrew Pike goes into second. Kieran Sharp nearly a second off, so not the best lap time there for the Porsche, but we'll see what he can do as the session unfolds. In the LMP3s, you can see Gurgly Kunstable, our championship leader, currently has the fastest lap time of a 1 minute 27.754 ahead of Nick Clibbons and Maurice Pitchell in third.
We'll have a look at Nick. Now let's go on board actually with the LMP4s and have a look at the LMP3, and have a look at the difference that they're going to have in these machines, of course, with a lot more horsepower to the right foot, but also very, very light cars, so they're not going to bounce over those chicanes. You can see a couple of sleeping policemen, I think they call them, aren't they, that are placed on some parts of the track there, especially around the final turn as well. So you clip that thing, you're going airborne. These things, of course, well, they're not flying machines too well, are they? We'll see. Because Nick was on fastest first sector. Actually, it is divided 3 sectors. I'm not quite sure what you're saying about the 4. But anyway, we cut for 5, sorry. 5 sectors. But anyway, it's the 3. Nick coming around the final corner right now on the loud pedal. No DRS activation. The 113. Can he take it away from Conchabo's time? I'm not quite sure it's going to be enough towards the end. I'll get him down to about 1
let off. Yeah, he was 5 seconds off on that lap, so I think he must have let off somewhere in that middle sector. Could have had to try and get through. Oh wait, no, there's no traffic, is there? Because it is on the 1 car and tracker each time. Yeah, I think that makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
Oh, it certainly does with the traffic that you're going to have, of course.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to find a gap there. Andrew Pike's looking pretty good at the moment there. Let's see if he's gonna cross the line there for the BMW, Mercedes. Sorry, I'll get it right at one point. It's a German manufacturer, put it that way. Could take Tom's time away here. 2/10. No, we'll update in a second. Into turn 1.
Yeah, and we can see Kieran Sharp also improved. He's now 5/10, half a second back from Tom Davison. I think this is the first time in the GT4 we've seen the grid be this far spread. The top 5 separated by over a second, that being 1.16 seconds. Liam Giles popped himself up into 4th in the Mercedes, 6/10 back after the fastest time of Tom Davison, who we've seen very quick this season. Had a bit of an unfortunate start back. I believe it was in Fuji in round 2. Obviously, I'm not sure what happened here in round 5 at Road America, but he's here today and he's currently sitting on that pole position. Andrew Pike, haven't seen him up in the top 2, I think, at all this season. So great for him so far in the Mercedes. On board now with this will be car number 2, heading down in towards the final couple of corners. We'll see what, I believe this is Nick Clibbons, isn't it? Heading towards
Nick.
the line shortly. We'll see if he can make an improvement, if he can get himself closer to that time of Gurgley. Still 4.5 back, and did he find any improvements on that lap time? I don't think he did, so still no one getting over that 1 minute 27.754. As we can see as well, David Long pops himself into 7th place, Martin into 4th, Bas Schilstra into the top 5. He's over a second off from Kunchabo's time, I believe, is headed back into the pits. So 4 minutes left to go, meaning they can head back into the pits, get themselves out once more for a couple final runs. We can see Andrew Pikes on a purple first, a green middle set. We'll see what he can do with the final set as he heads out the final couple of corners as well. I think we've also got Tom Davison on laps. We've got Kieran Sharp as well completing their laps. Tom Davison goes purple second and purple third. We'll see, is that enough for him to go to the top or at least increase that gap? No, but a great improvement by Andrew Pikes, but he's just over half a tenth behind the Mercedes, and Kieran Sharp as well making an improvement. He's 2/10 back.
Yeah, 65 thousandths of a second between them. As you said, they're almost crossing the line simultaneously on the lone solo qualifying. So they're getting down to the dying stages there. You can see 7 minutes, so going to commit to these laps. Some of the drivers have gone into pit road at the moment, 3 of them. I think Kunchabo is just happy at the moment. He's like, all right, I'm going to take this one. I don't think anybody's going to catch him. I'm at half a second gap there. So we'll see.
Half a second. Yeah. Half a second's a lot, especially when it's on a track that's, relatively short, isn't it, compared to others? So that is a really great lap time. As you can see, Nick Clibbons as well into the pits, and Pitchler, who's obviously sitting currently 3rd in the standings. I think this is actually a standings order, 1, 2, 3, 4, between Kunchabo, Clibbons, Pitchler and Martin. Yet again, they've all done a stellar job, and I think you look at the likes of Thomas Martin, he's never really been on the pace of that leading pack. But because he's been consistent in those top 4s, top 5s, he's put himself into 4th in the
Kieran
championship.
Sharp, purples. Look at this. The boss man himself is bringing this. All he has to do is nail the final sector here at the moment. Welcome everybody in the chat. They said, DQ Dave, let's go. Bobby, thanks for all the broadcasts of the season. Thank you very much for tuning in as well too. Millington has to bin in on lap 1 there from DQ Dave and put Fish out on pole. Kieran Sharp is looking to steal this one away. The final corner there. It's going to be a nice surprise if the boss man can get it all hooked up there for the number 23 machine. Crossing the line, he's going to take it to Tom's time. I think he's got this one.
Let's see. Did he get himself ahead? No.
Yes, he's got it.
No, he did. By a 10th of a second. Great lap there from Kieran Sharp to put himself onto that pole position just for now. We'll see if anyone else can find the improvements in the next 1 minute and a half of this session. On board with one of the LMP3s. That'll be Maurice Pitchler, who's currently in 3rd. Can he put himself onto the front row of the grid as he heads up towards the line? I don't think he will. We'll see what he does as he heads through. A little bit of a spin as well on the exit. I don't think he found any improvement, unfortunately, in that lap. So I think it's pretty much looking like this. Kunchabo on pole by half a second after only doing, I think, 1 valid run.
Yeah, exactly. He's nailed it, hasn't he? He's probably gone, that is the banquet you want to get. And sometimes, don't you, when you nail that perfect lap, even if you don't, and that's a bit of a problem there for Hamlin because he got a purple sector 1. He was looking,
on
he
a
could
lovely
steal this
lap.
one, and that's definitely compromised that. You're not going to have enough time for another one because of that. I don't even know if he had enough time to get across the line on the 10-minute marker. So that's it, unfortunately, for him. But at least he knows something, you know, at the end of the day. Hey, I've got the fastest first sector in my bag. It's not going to count at the end of the day because he's going to be starting a P7 in the class. But anyway, you know.
Velodia, ooh.
It's a good
was on the
feeling.
improvement. Yeah, Velodia was on the improvement in the first sector. Unfortunately, went yellow in the second, so he won't make an improvement in that second sector. We'll see what he can do in the final sector, see if he can get himself a decent lap time on the board, or at least try and improve himself a higher than fourth. He's got a 3/10 gap-ish to Andrew Pike in third. He's just coming through into turn 9, then he'll come to turn 10, and no, so no improvement there for Velodia. So that is pretty much the grid, and it was yet again a very quick ending to qualifying, which it goes so quick, but we can see the results there from the qualifying session. It's Gurgly Kunshabo on pole position for the LMP3. He's ahead of Nick Clibbons in second. Those two are 1-2 in the championship. Maurice Pixler in third, ahead of Thomas Martin in fourth. Bash Chilstra in fifth, and Josh Millington starts at the back of the LMP field, unfortunately not getting a lap time in. Then for the GT4s, it's Kieran Sharp, pretty much the championship leader, on pole ahead of Tom Davidson in second. Then we got Andrew Pike and Velodia in fourth, Liam Giles fifth, Bobby Moss in sixth, Guillaume Hamling in seventh, David Long in eighth, and then Matt Smith, unfortunately not getting a lap time. He rounds out the grid. So we got championship leader in LMP3 starting on pole. We've got our pretty much championship leader in the GT4 starting on pole, being as Jack Hetfield, who is 7 points ahead of Kieran Sharp, isn't here. So all Kieran needs to do is, we said to him before, didn't we, Biggles, before the show started, all he needs to do is finish the race, and he's got it, because Niels Kaur also isn't here either. So no one's close enough.
Yeah, I believe some of the drivers are not feeling under the weather as well, too, as you're talking about before. But it is our finale, of course, and what a racing track to do it at. The Red Bull always produces fantastic overtaken opportunities, of course, and it's going to be, once again, navigating through the field. It's going to be Kinshabo, even though he could be the quickest man on the track there and might just be able to just run away with this. However, once again, he's got traffic to deal with at some point in the future there. 40-minute race. And that could be the difference. And remember, too, these drivers as well, we've seen it during the season, have made mistakes, even on the very last laps, you know, even when I'm clearly leading, so.
Remember, the other thing they've got to battle through is the pit lane. It's a very dodgy entrance coming through turn 9, which is a very high-speed corner, so that could also itself cause some incidents between the drivers. So I think this is, yes, you've got to make sure you've got your awareness on. Make sure you've not been drinking and driving, because this is the last track you want to do that at, because awareness has to be top-notch, because you've got drivers coming left, right, and centre, considering some parts of the track are very, very thin. We'll obviously have a full formation lap, which I think is this. This has got to be the shortest track of the season, I think, hasn't it?
Yep, it has to be doing this.
We've had lots of, obviously, the Nürburgring, Fuji, which are generally quite long tracks. This, unfortunately, I think, is the shortest. So we'll see what issues that causes. As you said before, Biggles, it will cause issues. Obviously, the grid being a lot closer, being a shorter track. And we can see now their cars heading off to get ready to begin the race. Obviously, the safety car we can see leading them away. The same safety car we've seen for the past 6 rounds. And, well, luckily being in this class of racing, the safety car doesn't have to make an appearance too often, does it?
No, it doesn't have to. There's the Red Bull statue. That thing is heavy, heavy, heavy. Of course, I don't know how much the specific weight is. I have them on my notes somewhere, but hopefully you won't be looking too much to be focusing on that. You're going to be focusing on all of the racing that's ahead of you in the different classes, of course. So good to see the boss man, Karen Sharp, getting it up there, and you can see he's going to have to lead everybody else for his class into turn 1. Where they start, so we'll have a look at that. Of course, we'll give you the different replays of the start, because we're going to focus on one thing at one time for the LMP3s. That pace car is going to peel in. Now, I'm not 100% sure, and my dear friend Nathan, as to where they start, unless they do another lap around. You can see the lights are off the pace car.
Yeah, I presume they will do the full lap, and the safety car will go in at turn 9, where the pit lane entrance is. That's what I would presume. I presume it says normally, so they'll start down towards turn number 1. It's going to cause a bit of incidences because it is a bit of a small running towards turn 1, and also it's a bit of a 90-degree to the right. So I think we could see a bit of incidents between the drivers. Hopefully the likes of Kunshabo and Clibbons, who are theoretically going to be the ones who are going to fight for the championship, they need to make sure they keep themselves out of trouble on these opening laps and just try and pull away. We know that they have been pretty much, in some ways, the clear drivers this season. They have always been on that top pace, apart from their times where they've had incidents and spun. Their pace has been electric the whole time through, as you can see as well. The GT4 just popping into screen as they head up in towards the uphill turn 3. Kieran Sharp starts on pole. All he needs to do is finish the race to win the championship for the GT4 class. Obviously, as we said before, Jack Southfield and Nils Core aren't here. I believe that Jack Southfield unfortunately was ill, so hopefully he gets better soon. Nils Core as well. I'm not sure why he's not here, but obviously he wouldn't be able to take the championship anyway because he was 2 points away from having a chance to take that championship away from Jack Southfield. So yes, it's definitely a big shame for Nils because Nils has also been one of the really quick drivers in that GT4 category. But another thing which in a way surprised me is Bobby Moss. If he scores 3 points today, he can take third in this championship, which he's never really been up on the podium. He's never really been in that top 4. But he's just, yet again, like Thomas Martin, just been really, really consistent throughout the way. And I think we said this, didn't we, Biggles, in round 1? Consistency will pay off more than anything.
Of course, absolutely. Consistency is a key. We've seen, you've seen, and I've seen in multiple championships across multiple different leagues, drivers that have never won a race have won a championship. So that's all about consistency. It's got to be a little heartbreaking, isn't it, at the end of the day? You go,
Yeah.
I won the championship, but I never won a race. But at the end of the day, that's you still won the championship, and that's the one.
You look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, you do. Well, they're going to be looking at the final couple of corners right now, and it's all about, I don't know, what do you think? You have to say there's going to be a little bit of beef, there's going to be a little bit of elbows out, considering the
more
championship.
with the GT4s.
Yeah, the GT4s for sure.
You can see the safety car pinning him. So it'll be Kunshaba on pole ahead of Clemens for the final race here at the TSRC Sports Car Challenge. They're getting ready to go. We'll see the lights pop on the screen shortly down towards turn 1, a very short run down towards that turn 1, and I think they've already gone. Yes, they have. Kunshaba leads them away, and also a very good start from Pitcher. But he's already got himself into second as they head down in towards that first corner. We can see the cars flying past into the braking zone at turn number 1. A few cars going side by side. I think Pitcher's got himself ahead. Yes, he has ahead of Clemens as they head down towards turns number 3, and also a bit of a poor start for Thomas Martin. He's down to the back of the field trying to fight through as Josh Millington, who started in 6th, he's now looking to try and take 4th away from Bash Shilstra in towards turn number 3 they go, and it will be later brakes for the pink LMP3 of Millington, but just can't get that move done. Clemens gets himself back up the inside of Pitcher in towards turn 3, puts himself back into second. Gergely Kunshebo trying to run down the road until the outside line now for Clemens in towards turn 4. Can he try and take that second position away from Pitcher as they head into the braking zone? Pitcher's going to have that inside line. Clemens has to go around the outside. A bit of contact slightly between the two, and Clemens still has to run around the outside onto the grass. Nearly losing a bit of time. That puts now Bash Shilstra into 3rd. A poor start for Nick Clemens, unfortunately getting a bit caught on the grass at turn number 4. But I think that's something we expect to see to some drivers. I think Liam Giles is already out of the race in the GT4s.
Yeah, there was an accident back there, so we're going to have a look at that. I think it was something to do with Andrew. Let's have a look at that.
Yep. Pike in towards turn 10, and we'll have a look now. This is off Tom Davidson, who's currently sitting second, and there's the large big ball.
Here we go. So this is the start
final corner
currently at the moment of your GT4s, and there it is. That's Pike going around.
And I think that's where Liam must have caught one of them, mustn't he? Unless he got caught up somewhere else. But obviously, Andrew Pike's like 3rd. He's best qualifying this season now in pretty much last position that of all those that are running. You can see Liam Giles' car heading in towards turn 1. This is a replay in towards turn 1, turns in, gets spun round, and I think, yes, he hasn't actually, the car hasn't actually like failed, but I think he's just had enough of it. Final race, like, I'm done. But the battle for second is still raging on down towards turn number 3. Clemens right behind the back of Shilstra, who's on the back of Pitchler into turn 3. Millington also involved in this battle. This is the closest we've seen any of the LMP3s this season. 3 of them all sit together. I think Millington popped out of our screen for just a second as they all file down in towards the 4th corner. Kunshebo, our championship leader, has got a 1.7 second gap in towards turn 4, meaning he's probably the most one likely to take this championship away. Nick Clemens got a bit deep. That allows Millington to come up the inside at turn 5, and they go round in towards turn 6. It gives the inside line for Clemens, but I think he's a little bit too far back. And Nick Clemens started second.
Oh!
And that's Shilstra, I think. Round, yes, down at turn 6. Bash Shilstra round. Oh, what a shame. Had such a good start. Started 5th, moved up to 3rd, and unfortunately drops all the way down to the rear of the field. This is the battle for the lead between Kevin Sharp and Tom Davidson. Velarde are also in this battle as they head down in towards the braking zone. No moves being made there, but my heart is out for Bash Shilstra there. He's now 3 seconds back from the field.
Too many cars in one corner, of course, so that's going to be a little bit of beef. We've got a long race to go, 37 minutes, but of course drivers are trying to seize the opportunities they currently can to get the overtakes done. Conchabo is up the road. We kind of expected that. He's got the fastest laps. He's got a huge gap. He owns this track. We saw the demonstration of his work in qualifying, so he continues that. He's way, way, way up the road. So that's just, but the battle's still brewing there. But just going to keep an eye on this. If Tom's going to do anything at this point, because we're going to have to go back to the LMP3s. because you can see Millington and Pitchler have made a little bit of an overtake. Let's see if this, at the moment Tom can bring it here into turn 1. Tucked up in the slipstream there of Karen Sharp. I think Karen might have it covered.
No, I think Millington's got the move, hasn't he, in the LMP3s. Millington has got the move ahead of Pitchler. Pitchler can't gain. This is the battle for the lead in the GT4s. Kieran Sharp with a great move. Well, great defence down towards that first corner. They're still going side by side. Pitchler and Millington in towards turn 6. They go inside line for Millington, obviously in the pink car as they come through. And I think he's got the move. And yes, he has very wide there from Pitchler. Can't get that move defended too well. So it is Millington now into second. That gap to the lead is 2.6 seconds. Remember, Gergely Kunschabo pretty much needs to finish ahead of Clibbons to win the championship. He's currently over 5 seconds ahead. At the moment, this is looking like it's clear stuff for the Hungarian, but we know multiple times back in round 1 we saw Nick Clibbons, who was going to look to clearly win the race, ended up finishing 5th after having a big collision down turn 1 on the final lap. So you can't call anything out until the checkered flag waves. Then back at the lead for the GT4s, you can see Tom Davison's gaining in on Kieran Sharp. Going to try and make a move around the outside if he can into turn 6, a little bit too far back. Tries to send the Porsche defensive. Obviously he's in the Mercedes. He's Davidson. He's got the inside line in towards turn 7. Has he got enough to send a lunge to the inside? He does send a lunge to the inside. They go through. Kieran Sharp still defends a move in towards turn 9. I think the Porsche, it seems like it's got a bit more straight line speed, I think, hasn't it?
It does, but then again, you can see Karen Sharp's closing the door a little bit, just making sure it's going to be very difficult to get around the overtaking. It's bringing everybody else into play a little bit there too. You got Mr. Boss down there in P4, and then he's got a gaggle of cars behind. So we've seen this all season. We're seeing it again. The LMP3s are starting to spread out. They battle so closely at the very start of the race. Then they spread out. Now this is when the GT4s start to come alive. They start to get a feel for the temperatures back in the tyres there. They've got 5 minutes under their sleeve of racing, 34 minutes to go. And now this is when you start getting eager at the moment. Looks like at the 2 that we had drivers gone off track there. I was going to see if we get information about that. Could be, yes, exactly. Pike's not having the best days after getting a little bit of collision. Door banging in turn 1 on lap 1.
Yeah, big shame, and I think it's something we knew would happen. Obviously, he went around turn 10s. Liam Giles went round at turn 1. I think we knew that was going to happen with the GT4s. I didn't expect it to happen in the final corner. That is definitely for sure, but obviously a big shame for Mr. Andrew Pike himself. This is yet again on board with the rear wing of Kieran Sharp heading down in towards that 4th corner. Tom Davidson doing a great job just to sit on the back and apply pressure onto the Porsche. And obviously Volodya as well in 3rd. Haven't really seen him much at the top of the field at all this season, so great to see him running there in 3rd. The Estonian, of course, in the Aston Martin as they fly through towards turn number 6 to the left-hander, then back again to the left for turn number 7. And that's also, I think Thomas Martin made a mistake because Bas Dilstra has got himself ahead of the LMP3. Big shame for Thomas Martin, sitting 4th in the standings. Has got a chance to take that championship if he could win, and if everyone else was to DNF. I don't think that is very, very likely at all, considering now he's, what, about over 10 seconds back, 15 seconds back from the race leader. And still on board, though, with Tom Davidson headed down towards the penultimate corner into the final corner. Got a great run on the back of Kieran Sharp, just hasn't quite got the exit there in that Mercedes to get a move down towards turn number 1. Obviously, in these cars, there's no DRS. It all relies on that power from the engine and also the slipstream down towards those high braking zones. Into towards turn 1 they go. Obviously, we've got 6 minutes in of 40. They have to make a pit stop at least once in this race. Normally, from what we've seen this season, it's around 20 to 30 minutes in. We'll see it again if that can make much of a play. We know that the pit lane entry is quite weird on this circuit compared to others, so we'll see if that causes an incident. As we've got Hamling now looking to gain on the back of David Long in towards turn number 3. He's going to have the outside line. Is the, I believe, from Luxembourg by the looks of that. Looks of that logo, a little bit lighter than the Dutch logo, of course. And I'm sorry if I butcher that wrong. I know a lot of Dutchies and Luxembourgians, or whatever they're called, get very angry when you mix their logo, mix their flags up.
It's well, of course, it's a little bit different in colours. It's like Australian New Zealand flag as well too that I'm used to. You know, well the Kiwis get a little bit upset because there's a difference in flag.
I say they look the same.
Yeah. So there it is. He gave it a little bit of a mounting chance, didn't quite, but he's going to get the exit. He knows he's got plenty of time, so he's 2/10 down the road there. Davis is 2/10. Davis going to be putting more pressure once again. Look at that. On Karen Sharp, making sure that the boss man's get a mirror drive like crazy. That's if he can even see the car in his mirrors because he's tucked up so much on his rear fender. And he's like, where's Tom? Tom's in his blind spot, literally. Tom's trying his absolute best to get past the boss man. And you'd have to say, Kieran Sharp is driving the absolute pants off the 42 machine right now.
He is. He's holding it through. They're heading towards the final corner and just nowhere through really for Tom Davison to make a move. And that is the key thing about this circuit. It's very difficult to run and just really send a dive bomb because, you know, the slipstream does help. But, you know, in towards turn 3, it's a very risky place to send a dive bomb, isn't it? Because it's such a high braking zone, up a hill as well. And the exit at the corner is quite sharp. So it's, you know, it's not an ideal scenario if you end up being both run off track. Because obviously Velody is sitting right behind in third. He can always make something work of this. But this time I think Davidson's probably got his better up towards turn 3 that he has so far in this race. He's just tucking up behind the back of that Porsche in towards the braking zone. And he only gained about half a tenth in that slipstream. So the slipstream not really paying off too much for the Mercedes. And as well, obviously, welcome everyone in the chat, of course. Let us know who you think can take the championship in both categories. We know it's pretty much a done deal, especially for the GT4s as well. Very close to it being a done deal in the LMP3s. But let us know in the chat who you think, despite all this, will take that championship heading out of this season. And I said it at the start of the stream. It does not feel like we've been here for 6 rounds at all, does it? It feels like we're just getting started and we're on the final round.
Time flies when you're having fun, and that's exactly the reason here. I just wonder if Tom's going to think about setting it in there now, or is it just playing with his food? Say, do not play with your food where he's playing at the moment with his food. Food being Karen Sharp up the road there. Still, we are got the Aston Martin driver just lurking in the background there, ready for these drivers to make a mistake. You can see a little bit of a runoff there from Karen Sharp. It won't compromise him too much. And I told you about this traffic. We're almost 10 minutes into it, and look at the gaggle of cars on your top right map. They are going to start catching them very soon. So these two are going to have to continue their battle somehow, and then be also on the lookout for the LMP4s. LMP3s coming thick and fast.
Yeah, they're coming through towards turn 10, and we can see, I think Andrew Pike's on the exit of turn 10, heading down towards turn 1. They've caught very quickly. Within 10 minutes, they've already lapped the car, so they're doing a great job, and they're just going to hope they can fit themselves through without getting caught up in any of these GT4 battles. Remember, some of them are fighting for the championship. So if we can maybe have a bit of a look at Kun Shaba, because he's right behind the back of Andrew Pike, heading through and towards turn 3. Look at that already. To the inside he goes, straight past, and the straight line speed difference, it's just immense. It's like watching the Formula 1 and Formula 2 car go side by side down towards this next corner. You can see further ahead. That's also Hamling and Long.
Yeah, it's Hamling and Long going for
turn 3. Yep. And going with Shabo, as much as he wants them to have a nice battle, he's like, move, I want to get through. I need to extend that lead to Josh Millington, who's sitting only 1.5 seconds back. Down towards turn 4, passes Hamling. Will he pass Long by the time he gets into the braking zone? I think he will. Yep, he has to send it up the inside, doesn't he? I don't think Long sees him coming until the last second. It does get through, he does get past David Long, but yes, I'm not sure that the Mercedes quite saw the Flying Hungarian coming into the braking zone for a second, as that's also Millington getting through, and has actually gained a bit of time there on Kunshabo.
That's what kind of expected there. So here it is, it's going to get past. Now have a look at the track map. Now the next 2 cars up the road, 3 cars, are going to be those very ones that are battling it out. So we'll see. Davison, let's have a look at him real quick there for a second. I just want to see, he's still not going to do anything. He's still sitting behind Karen Sharp right there. But that's what's more importantly at the moment. I want to see, you can see the exit where you'll see just in your picture, the background there, right now, is our race leader, of course, in class. So let's see on board how he's going to approach the situation thick and fast. I'm thinking he should be able to get him on the straightaway after turn 2 here as he climb up the hill. Turn 1, sorry. He's got to get him here, doesn't he? He has to get him here. That way he can clear him before turn 2.
Get at least 1.
Turn 3,
yeah. I think he'll get at least Velody in towards turn 3. I don't think he's going to quite catch the top 2. He's going to get them down towards turn 4, yeah. This could lose him a little bit of time. Let's say head down in towards.
It will actually, because look at Millington.
Yeah,
right
5 tenths back. Oh, this is a good battle for the lead here in the LMP3 category. To the inside, both of the LMP3s go getting ahead of Kieran and Tom. Luckily not interfering with their battle too much. And look at that. That has really helped Josh Millington gain into the back of Kurgli Kunshaba. So now Kunshaba's got to build all that gap which he built on the opening laps. Yes, again.
That's exactly the reason why I'm saying I love that traffic coming into play, because it's just about catching it at the right time at the right place. It's a lucky draw. Doesn't always work that way. Kunshaba had that huge gap, didn't he? And then just like that, he caught the traffic at just the wrong place. He had to back off, didn't he, in the turn 3? Otherwise, because he knew that these 2 are the race leaders for the GT4s, and he knows I'm not getting involved in that. Clever play, of course. It will compromise your time, but then again, you still got 26 minutes to go, and you still are in the lead of the race. So, hey, it ain't over yet, and that's going to happen. What goes around comes around. You're going to be driving over the camera. Hey, careful, guys. This camera costs a lot of money. All right.
Ooh, that's someone going wide. I think that's Davidson letting someone through. Yeah, that'll be, I think, Pitchler coming through towards turn number 1. But also, I've noticed looking at the timing screens at the moment, the best lap in the LMP3 category, so is a 27.4, which is from Josh Millington. Gergely Kunshabo's best lap is 4/10 slower, so that shows how much quicker so far Millington actually is than his counterparts in P1. Tom Davidson gaining in on the back of Kieran Sharp in towards turn number 3, and those two, their best lap times are separated by half a tenth, so pretty much on identical pace between the two leads in the GC4 category. This is a replay down towards turn number 1 of Thomas Martin, 4th in the championship. We'll see what happens to him in towards that first corner, and just going a little bit wide and touching that yellow curb. What did you call them? Sleeping policemen, was it?
Sleeping policemen, yeah, that's what they...
I've never heard that one before.
They call them that in here in Latin America that I'm at. Well, actually, they call it something even worse, bang, and that's another one from Matt, actually. These are replays a little bit earlier.
It. Not sure what's happened to him.
So he needs a safety car.
Turn 9, wasn't he?
Oh, and this is it. So look at this. Davis has really put the pressure on now. Really, he's running out of his patience, perhaps. Kieran Sharp still doing his absolute best defensive driving. No overtaking through there, gentlemen. Or you could try it, but you're going to compromise so much speed for your next double right-hand corners coming up for the final 2 corners. And then there is your another LMP3 in the background that's going to be catching them at a drastic rate. But once again, these drivers in the GT4s, if we are new to the series, they do not have to yield. They stick to their racing line. They stick to their racing. You're the faster class. You make your way around the outside of them. It's all about being predictable as the other drivers. That's all they have to do. And that's going to be the compromise, isn't it? Because at that point, Tom cannot stick his nose out and send a dummy up the inside on Kieran Sharp because the LMP3 was zooming on by.
Indeed, and yet again, Tom's right behind, and 1.8 tenths as they head in towards turn 3. Is he going to run to take the lead here to the outside? He goes, I think he might go for a bit of a run around the outside in towards turn number 3. You can see Kieran defending the car well to the inside, tries not to go too deep to allow a bit of a switchback manoeuvre from Tom, and Tom's got a great run down towards turn 4. I think Kieran went a little bit wide on the exits as they head down, and is a less than a tenth as they head in towards the braking zone. Will it be moved to the inside from Tom? I don't think he's really that keen to make a move. They know they've got a decent gap now to Volodya in third, so yeah, I don't think Tom's really keen on making much of a risky move in towards the braking zone, just following each other through, doing a great job between the pair at the front, and also in the LMP3 category we can see Nick Clibburn starting to gain in on Pitchler for P3, and also Millington sitting 4 tenths back from Kushaba for P1. But I think one thing we've seen the whole season is that the battle for P1 and 2 in the LMP3s, they never really swap round, do they? They kind of just stick behind, and instead of having a DRS advantage, they just have that slipstream advantage. It does the same thing.
You're absolutely correct on this one. You can see Tom, once he breaks it, it's straight line speed doesn't there. It just bogs down and he can't get anything done. At this point, you get a good bit of duct tape there on the graphics. He didn't get that duct tape put up there on the car, but I guess that's a part of the livery, actually. It looks quite nice. But every time he tries to get out there and break it, it's just there's not enough of the straight line speed there. Kieran covers it off cleverly, of course, and shuts the door on the potential overtake. You got to wonder if Tom's like, well, if I feel I have more pace, you look at an alternative strategy, of course, with pit stops now. Do something around that situation, because whatever it is, getting an overtake done on track, of course, it feels better rather than an overtake and pit stops. And again, look at that. And they are starting to drop P3. And you're still seeing that battle brewing. Actually got Clemens now on the back of Pitchler. That's interesting too for their championship hopes, remember, and the battle for that as they look at lap cars. Matt's had another little moment here, so not the best of days for the safety car driver here. You know, the safety car livery, of course, but I think this is going to be turn 1, isn't it? Yeah, he's hitting the inside chicane and just run right off there. And he's actually parked it, so he might have had... That's something like it might have jilted your steering wheel or technical problem out of there, isn't it?
Could be, yeah.
Tom really
last time, didn't it? It was someone, wasn't it, in the LMP3s had a bit of an issue with the brake pedal, wasn't it, last week?
That seems like once you hit the inside like that, then you come back out on the sleeping policeman, as I call it. That seems like you nudge something.
Yeah, it's a death zone.
And look at this. This is the closest that these. So we got 2 battles for P1 in both classes at the moment, and Josh applying the pressure big time to the Hungarian driver here.
Yeah, not really making a move in towards turn number 3. He's going to have a bit of a run into turn 4, but I think for now he's comfortable just sitting right behind the back of Kunshaba, and look at that gap now down to P3, 8.2 seconds. Remember,
This is it.
Clibbons to take. This is for the lead. Oh, and Tom Davison takes it, doesn't he, into turn 1. Great run there by Tom Davison, but it's going to be a bit of a switch back from Kieran Sharp down towards turn 3. Do we see yet again another move for the lead in towards his third corner? Up the hill they go, and Kieran's got a great run on the back of the Mercedes as he pulls to the outside. He does, but I think he's backing off. I don't think he's keen on making a move for the lead. I think he knows now that the main aim is just to keep himself consistent in that position. He knows he can win the championship from anywhere on the grid, all the way down to P7. There's no point fighting too hard for the lead when you're not even halfway in, as this is a replay coming through towards turn number 7. Tom Davison still pulling alongside Kieran Sharp. Kieran's going to have the inside line, sent a bit of a lunge back to it as they come through, still running side by side. Great racecraft between these two, and Kieran's got a bit ahead in towards turn 7. There's nothing that Tom Davison can do about it there. Has to go for a bit of a switchback manoeuvre on the exit. Has a great run down towards turn 9. And do we see him take the move into turn 9, or will it be on the exit at turn 10? They come through.
It's got to
pulls to the inside. Does he send a lunge? No. Sits back for now and will get blocked off by the trees. That's also one of the LMP3s getting through there. And I believe this is down into turn 1. Yet just got a better run, hasn't it, off the final corner. And, you know, he just pulls himself alongside, pops himself ahead. No issues caused at all. Great move for Tom Davison to take the lead. I believe that would be for his second win of the season. You can see now he's got a 4/10 gap too. Kieran Sharp, and the gap at the front for the LMP3 is getting even closer, 2/10 into the braking zone between Kunshabo and Millington. Obviously, Josh Winton, remember, started at the back of the grid, now into second, fighting for the lead. He's had some great pace so far in this race, and I have a feeling, because I know Millington didn't qualify in round 3. I know he didn't qualify in round 4 or here, so I feel maybe he's in last the first challenge in all the races. Makes sense, because he never really goes out into track and qualifies.
I'll go to show you how confident the 86 driver is. And he's done a fantastic job. He's getting 4 positions, of course, as he said. So he's bringing it here. And once again, he's just slowly... I thought Kunshaba was really going to run away with this one. But maybe that bit of traffic just threw him off a little bit. And once he got caught up at the moment, now he's on mirror driving. And here we go. This is going to be an opportunity to turn 1.
We'll see. Oh, and they've disappeared for a second. It's turn 1. Millington takes the lead for the LMP3 categories ahead now. Oh, Kunshaba wins second still. Kunshaba will lead the championship going out of this round, meaning he will be the championship winner because Clibbons is a little bit too far back. Obviously, there's still 20 minutes to go, so anything can happen in the next 20 minutes. And do we see a move back for the lead into turn 3? No, Kunshaba just sits comfortably behind for now. On the back of Millington, who, remember, started last the first. He's completed that in 21 minutes of a race, as that's also Andrew Pike having a battle with Hamling through in towards turn 6. They go, and Hamling being pushed out a little bit wide there by the Mercedes, and Andrew Pike gets that move done and pops himself back into P5.
Yeah, they've been at it actually tooth and nail, these two, so I don't think this is over just yet. Absolutely not. Kieran Sharp's backed off a little bit now. You'd have to say that Tom Davison did have a little bit more pace up his sleeve because he's starting to build that gap. It's almost climbing up to about a second, so which is a lot to build in this track, as you know. It's a short track. I mean, it's just like a second. You should be able to build that pretty easy, but it's not. Yeah. It's definitely not. What about Clemens now? This is the thing. He's starting to catch the German driver up the road, and they've been at it for some tooth and nail. He should have some team radio message to say, okay, this is how Millington got it done on the Hungarian driver, so maybe you need to replicate that. Though he's not going to have any pictures, is he?
Towards turn 1. We'll see what he can do into the final corner. He seems like he's got a bit more better pace than the German on car number 32. Through the exit of turn 10 down towards turn 1. He's still 5/10 back, and you can see that gap between Millington and Kunshaba going higher and higher. 5.5 now as they head in towards the next braking zone. And we've also got, obviously, this is Clibbons and Pitchler fighting for third in this race, and that would bring the gap between the top 2. I think going out of this, if it finished like this, second and third for Kunshaba and Clibbons, that would finish the championship 9 points between P1 and 2. Now that shows how close that the battling has been this season, potentially having 9 points separated from first and second. It's a little bit like watching Hamilton and Verstappen, but a little bit more cleaner, let's say that.
Yeah. Max is just a goat, as we all know, this season. Probably the next one as well, too. But it's all about, like anything in Formula 1, that's a little bit different because these cars are, similar and in every way, and they're not like, massive. Yeah, but with Formula 1 drivers, of course, it's not just. It's also about being in the right car at the right time as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So
here, they're pretty much Well, obviously the setup's going to change, but the cars themselves are pretty much the exact same. Obviously, if you're in the different manufacturers, it's different, but generally, the cars are very similar power, and if there's a car that's too powerful, then they will just change, you know, what they need to add some ballast onto it. So, Kieran Sharp looking to take the lead ahead of Tom Davison there. To the outside he goes. I think Tom went a little bit wide exiting it at the first corner. To the outside goes the Porsche. Can he try and take that lead back from the Mercedes?
Undercut here. That's what you're going to do. Switch it around.
No. Great defence from Tom to just cover that inside line on the exit, meaning Kieran couldn't really bomb it up the inside in towards turn 4. So, it's still Davison leading in that GT4 category, the car 42 versus car 23. Then Velody has started to lose even more time. That gap 2.7 seconds, and David Long has been into the pit. So I believe that might be our first pit stop for fuel in this race.
There he is, actually, just coming in and out, exactly. I was having a look at that situation. It's so interesting, isn't it? Because you and I, when we have broadcasted and commentated a lot of F1, esports racing, and you see the huge difference. That's what the key of turn 3 is. You can take alternative strategies because the DRS activation, of course, is just before there, so you switch it over there. And you see a lot of fantastic overtaking, especially, as I said, in the Formula 1 online version, rather than the real F1 is not as exciting per se as that. But the switchback doesn't seem to work too well, does it? Like as it does in the F1 like there, because Kieran Sharp, if that was an F1 car, he would have got a DRS activation. He should have been able to easily take Mr. Davison out. And leaders are in. So Millington's boxed, and then Kinshabo is selected to do this. And we've seen this before in the past. Hit your braking spot perfectly. That a GT4, sorry, might throw him off a little bit here. We shall see.
Yeah, and the issue they've got to make is not to miss their pit box. We've seen that multiple times this season. People actually can lose 10 and 15 seconds from that, so they'll head in. Obviously, our leader.
That's a mistake.
Oh, it's reverse. Kunshabo does it perfectly.
And Clibbins has come
well into the pits.
Yep.
So Picture takes the lead. Clibbins drops down, and they both head out together. Who will take the lead? Kunshabo will. Kunshabo gets that lead back in the pit lane, and one small mistake from Millington has potentially cost him the lead and the victory of this race. Clibbins will be still in the pits. He'll get overtaken, I believe, by Martin, unless Martin enters the pits.
Yeah, Clemens is out now. There's Martin, but Martin's still got to get the box anyway. So yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, we said this before in the past, is what I say. Drivers need to practice and practice and practice their pit stops, because that can compromise so much.
Indeed, I think we also saw Bobby Moss as well coming to the pits for the GT4 category. Now, 30 seconds back from Hamling in 5th, and we'll now watch Millington, currently in 4th in the category, but net 2nd place. Obviously, Bass, Shilstra and Moyes Pitchless still have to make their pit stops, and look how much pace that these top two have got. They're already 3 seconds back from Shilstra. They're only 13 seconds back from Pitchler.
Yeah, exactly. So that's compromised Millington about a second, let's say, because he was ahead a little bit, and then he's now 7 tenths down. But once again, he could still see his opponent there. Pitcher's coming in. So have a look at this. Full speed, and he hit the brakes. I was going to say, you were going way too fast for the 32 machine. The pit road, you can see the rear end sliding out, because they do have a pit lane speed limit. Chisler, yes, Chisler's right there. And once again, let's see if the drivers can hit that.
Ooh, did he have a bit of a spin, it looks like?
He has. Oh, he's locked it up big time. You're right. That's going to compromise a lot, as you see a few of the other drivers. I'm just saying, actually hit the marker right. So again, they do have a lollipop person that they will see in their pit road. We won't see it. There's Clibbins.
Thinking himself ahead of Pitchler. Obviously, these two are fighting, aren't they?
Pitchler should be ahead. There, and there's Clibbins.
Yeah, so great job there from Pitchler in the pits to get himself a bit more of an advantage now to Pitchler's yet again. Millington takes the lead from Kunshabo. Oh, it's a spin. Kunshabo's gone round. That's lost him lots of time. That can now put Pitchler into the chance, Clibbins, in the chance to try and take the championship, maybe, depending what Kunshabo can do. Let's hope he got no damage on that car.
They've come together for sure here.
Sure they have. No, just lost on his own.
Right.
But he did that back in round 1 at Road Atlanta, didn't he? Yes. Lost the car into turn 1. He's this time here in the finale, lost it down at turn 3. Oh, what a shame for Kunshabo. We'll have to see. I don't think he's got any damage to the car, but it will definitely ruin the tyres, won't it?
Yeah, cold tyres definitely coming out, because he's just boxed, remember. And he had the pressure, and so therefore he's had to get on, and that's just... that's pressure for you. That's what happens, and that's motor racing.
So we'll see what's happened there. That's put Pitchler right behind him, hasn't it? Yeah, that gap's just about a second between second and third. Clibbons as well. He's only 2.7s back from Kunshabo, and I think in order for the championship to change, Kunshabo needs to finish in third, and Clibbons need to finish. Kunshabo needs to finish in around fourth. I think Clibbons would need to finish second because that gap between them is 6 points, 146 to 140, of course, and you can see Tom Davidson still leading ahead of Kieran Sharp. Volodya's come out the pits. He'll pop out shortly. Hamling and Pike as well into the pit lane. Have the leaders pit is my question.
No,
in the GT4 category.
No, they have to box. That's what I'm waiting for it, actually. They're going to have to go in. Now, this is going to be interesting. Does Kieran Sharp follow? Does he follow Davison into the pit road, or does he stay out for an extra lap or so? That's going to be the interesting thing. I believe this is going to come down, similar to what we saw on the LMP3, to a pit stop fight between the drivers.
Well, personally, I'd follow them in. He's got nothing to lose, so just do what he does.
Well, but I mean, what if Kieran Sharp goes out there and put a couple of banker laps? And we saw with Pitchler, right? Well, Pitchler and Clemens are still in the same places that they were. Sorry, it's the other way around. No, it was Pitchler and Clemens, of course, so P3, P4 between those two drivers. There they're going in. Look, he's following him. Now, battle of pit stops. Let's see who's done their rehearsals, their dress rehearsals.
Yeah, Kieran Sharp made the mistake earlier in the season in the pits. He lost about 5-6 seconds, cost him a podium, I think, in that race. So we'll see if he's learned in the past rounds of 2, 3, 4, and 5. He goes into the pits along with the race leader, Tom Davidson, of course, and obviously we can see Tom stopping, Kieran stopping. Oh, a bit of reverse. Yeah, Tom had to have a bit of reverse, so that'll lose a little bit of time. Even if it loses you half a second, that is still a lot. In terms of the race, who gets away quickest is the question. And Kieran gets a great run. And look how long Tom's been held there. He's lost at least 1.5, 2 seconds. And Volodya could even try and take that P2 away from Davison at this rate.
Yeah, where is he currently at the moment coming down the main straight?
I think he might be a little bit, it's a little bit too far back, unfortunately. So he's going to be about 5-6 seconds back. But look at that lead, 3.2 seconds. Yeah. With 10 minutes to go. Kieran Sharp just needs to keep it calm and clean, and he will easily take that victory, I think, ahead of the Mercedes. But Clibbons, look how quick he's gained onto the back of pitch. So that gap was 1.7 seconds. It's now 4/10.
Yep, and he's catching at the moment, and he knows that he has an opportunity of 9 minutes left of this race to go to steal P3, and he's hungry. And I don't know how many times, it must sound like a broken record all season long, Nathan. Drivers are losing potential races because of pit stops. Practice your pit stops, gentlemen. Practice those pit stops. It's so hard to practice your pit stops by race conditions, of course, because, if you're doing just practice out by yourself, you have to be doing constant good laps, and your tyres have to be quite worn there, they have to be heated, all sorts of stuff. And on top of it, you have to be boxing at the same time another driver's boxing so that your vision is impaired. So that's a whole different ballgame. You'd have to get some friends out there, and then say, okay, you box when I box, and then practice it that way, and that's probably the only way you can do it. But anyway, this is the battle.
AI.
All right, well, AI is not going to box at the same time you box, but that's the thing, you have to do it like that.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. We're sitting up here in the casting booth.
Clibbons has got a great run on the back of Pitchler in towards turn 3, nearly on the grass for Clibbons, and I've done a bit of calculations, and if Clibbons just finishes in third and Kunshaba finishes in second, that would get the gap to the championship 3 points, 178 to Kunshaba, 175 to Clibbons, who now takes that P3. So that just shows how close that championship battle has been between the top two. And you can see Pitcher trying to get a run down towards turn 4, has the inside line, a little bit of contact between these two fighting for P3 in this race. Pitcher's got a great run, hasn't he? To the inside at turn 4. Who will break later? Will it be Clibbons or will it be Pitcher? I think Clibbons broke a little bit later, turns in, a little bit of contact. Oh, that's a bit of a controversial one. Great exit from Pitcher, who takes that P3 back, and they've now lost a second. Yes, a second to Kunshaba from that bit of a battle.
Yeah,
they're losing crucial time in this race.
Oh, they are, but I think at this point they're probably just deciding on who wants that podium position between the two drivers. That's it. That would be absolutely it. So Kunshaba, after making that mistake, and into the gravel trap. That's gonna be, and that's Clibbons going, damn it, 7 minutes now left of this race, but he hasn't dropped too much time to try to make it up. Beautiful Austrian. To listen to the sound of music, isn't it? Here, of course, they filmed the Sound of Music set back in the day. That's what the F1 teams. I'm not sure if they still do it, but they all tweet, said little hidden messages about the sound of music and stuff like that. This is the home of Mozart, Beethoven, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Toto Wolff.
I thought Schwarzenegger is from America.
Austria. Oh, I was born in Austria.
Oh, well. That shows my knowledge of geography, doesn't it? Indeed. I should probably guess it from the name as well. Is it a very American name, is it at all?
And these two are out. So, yeah, we got 6 minutes left in this race. And this is going to be the hot zone, I think, because I don't see many other parts.
Now, does he send a lunge in towards turn 4 is a question. He will send a lunge. No, he doesn't. He thinks about it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But has to back out at the last second. Now, we'll see what he can do on the exit. Hasn't got the best exit in the world, but has got enough to stay right behind. Hamling now enters the pits in the Porsche. I believe he's already made one pit stop race. That's not ideal at all for Hamling. And a bit of a crash. We'll have a look what happens here. He looks, is it Luxembourg? You know, Luxembourgish.
Yes.
I don't quite know that. It's quite a long.
No, he's pulled over,
long, isn't it?
There's a He's like,
big shave for Hamling.
Yeah, guys, get the crane out, lift me up over there into the pit road. He's gone back and look at that. He's just do that, jumped the fence and just gone into the T car.
Oh.
Remember the T car?
Really
you know, you wouldn't remember the T cars back in Formula 1 days, but they used to have a spare car that they could run around if they needed to. Yeah.
Gibbons head towards turn 1. Can he make the move in towards turn 1? We saw Middleton do, didn't we, on the Hungarian?
Yeah, he's going to have to. Oh,
left. He can do it on the German. No, has to back off. Has to go around the outside. Bit of a switch back. Good run down towards turn 3. See, to the outside is Clibbons. Will he try and, the question is, will he try and just send pitch the defensive? No, he won't, because he's going to go up the inside, change of planning towards turn 3.
He's going to send it here.
Sends it. He does send it. Oh, slight contact between the two, and Clibbons does get himself ahead. But yet again, Pitcher's got a great run in towards turn 4. Now will he position himself to the inside? No, he has to stick with the outside line as they go through. Does switch to the inside, has to back off, use that slipstream, sends it to the inside of Clibbons. He does send it into turn 4. They go, and I think Pitcher has tried to make the move. Yes, he has. Pitcher yet again fighting another day and gets that move ahead of Clibbons to keep claiming that P3. This battle in between these two is immense, and this will go to the final 5 minutes of this race. I can't believe we're 35 minutes in and Clibbons had a bit of a lock-up. This could end in tears.
Yeah, how's that panned out, actually? I wanted to know if those points that you're crunching up at the moment between these two drivers in the championship.
Between these two in the championship, I'm sure it would be Clibbons still ahead, but in terms of him and Kuhn-Schreiber, the gap would be, I think, it would be 7 points between the top two. 7 points. It shows how close that the battling has been this championship, but Clibbons, yet again, not going to give up, going to go for another go down towards turn 3, but I think with all this battling, all this hard racing, these two have probably got a bit more of a personal affair, haven't they? And they both want to get one up on each other. So they're heading to turn 1. Clibbons got a great run on the exit, hasn't got enough to make a move into turn 3. He's gaining, but I don't think it's enough just yet to make an overtake. As they head through, now we'll have to back off, he'll have to do it then towards turn 4 again, won't he?
Yep. And he's going to have to do it again, but he's got 3 minutes and change to get it done, so you could get it 1:30 lap times. Well, they're doing 1:27s, 1:37s for the other drivers. Karen Sharp's got it done. I mean, as long as he doesn't make a mistake, and I don't say he would, the boss man's going to finish in style because, you know, he's been handling, remember, the big battle he had between Tom the whole time during that race, and it all ended up in a little bit of tears there for Tom in the pit stops.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. So I think Kieran's got no problems of bringing home. He's, you know, can handle the pressure. Clearly, it was proven before until he did get the only overtake between those two leaders there at the moment. There. So that's the rest of the field there. Of course, Millington's got this one in the bag because Conchabo's a rare, another rare mistake that he makes. Potentially lose that one, but that's it. This might be, I think Clibbons right now, he's just got to keep applying that pressure, but I don't think he's going to be able to. Pitchless should be able to handle this one, no problem. So here is our race leader getting past the back there, so done everything he needed to do right, isn't it? You want to last the first challenge? Well, bingo, you've got it.
16 seconds is leading by.
We'll have a
but
bit
notice
of
as well,
Yep.
look at that gap between Kieran and Tom. It's come down by 2 seconds since the pit stop, so Tom's got some great pace in the back of his car. We'll
yeah, but I think is Kieran just backing off a little bit just to be safe, to bring it home. I would say that to a driver, of course, as an engineer. I'd say, all right, you know, you've still got this gap. Just cool, calm, collective here. You got basically 2 laps at best there. It's a 1 second gap. Remember, you've held him off for majority of the start of the race. About a third of the race, you had held him behind you. So don't push it too much. Just get a big smile in there. End the season on an absolute high.
And also back to Clibbons. He's now within 4/10 of Pitcher again. They're heading down, I believe, in towards turn. We'll see where they are shortly. As that's, I believe, is that Clibbons making a pass, or is it Thomas Martin making a pass in towards turn 1 ahead of the two leaders?
Martin.
So Martin getting himself ahead, splitting the two of the GT4 class. As you can see, Kieran Sharp has lost a bit of time, and Clibbons yet again still gaining on the back of Pitcher in towards turn number 9. They go, the penultimate corner. In towards turn number 10, we've got 2 minutes left, well, a minute and a half left of this 40-lap race, and at the moment it looks like the championships will go the way of Kunshev and will go the way of Kieran Sharp. But there's still 2 minutes to go. We can't call anything just yet, as Clibbons is gaining quickly onto the back of Pitchler into the braking zone for turn 1. We'll see if he can get a good run down towards turn 3. He's got a good run, hasn't he, on the back of the German.
Oh, and the traffic as well.
To avoid one of the GT4s. That puts Clibbons right on his tail into water brake zone at turn 3. Do we see him move for P3 to the inside at turn 3? Braking later is Clibbons. And he well, but I think he's the contact. And this is what we saw earlier on. And there we are. Pitchler running onto the sleeping policeman on the exit at turn 3. Down to turn 4. And I don't think Clibbons will be able to fight. I don't think Pitchler, will be able to fight back, will he?
He can. I mean, they have been. I wouldn't yield it just yet. Because where is Millington on the track? There is Millington, you can see on the track map, actually. So he's all the way up here.
He's on his final lap, isn't he?
He'll be on the final lap.
White flag.
No white flag yet.
So he's coming through.
This will be the white
flag
9. Now, after this.
Turn 10. So this will be the final lap again.
Yes.
You can see there. What was it? Barney's he called? Waving
Barney.
the white flag.
Yep.
Down towards turn 1. So that will be the last lap for every driver on circuit. So we're coming to the last lap of what has been a brilliant season here for the TSRC Sports Car Challenge. There's been a championship battle all the way through. There's been battles literally every single lap, every corner in this championship. Pitchler now 7/10 back from Clibbons. I think he's starting to lose a bit of touch on the back of the Englishman, so we won't gain in time. And we can see as well Millington, he's just heading up down in towards, I think. What's happened? Pitchler's DNF.
Oh no.
No, Millington, sorry. Millington's DNF down at...
Yes.
Down at...
He's out.
I'm not sure what's happened there.
Yeah, and with this we have Schultz has gone in, so Kunshabo's now in the lead of this race. This is horrible. He's had a DNF or something.
On my screen, it seemed that Millington stopped then at the halfway point to turn 3. So has he just stopped and pulled over? Is the question? I'm not sure.
No,
that's happened there for Millington.
Yeah, I mean,
what's happened here?
I think really, I mean, we saw it. Actually, I was on board with him for a second. No, he's just pulled
stopped.
over.
So that's race win gone for Millington. I want to see back though at where Kunshevo is, because I think he's going to be coming to fight to the final corner shortly, won't he? To take victory. Coming through turn 6, coming through in towards turn 7. Been a bit of a rough start at the start of the season for Kunshevo, having I think it was 4th place in the first round, but he's fought way through and he's taken his, I think this will be his 5th podium or 4th podium this season. He will also take his 2nd victory this season and will also take the TSRC Sports Car Challenge LMP3 Championship. He rounds into turn 9. Then he'll round in towards turn 10. Has to get through this Aston Martin first though, and we will see him take the victory. And Currently Kunshevo for the LMP3 car is the champion here at the TSRC Sports Car Challenge. And then Kieran Sharp, you can see he's got a 3/10 gap to Tom Davidson further back for the GT4 category. Down towards
Tom's going for
they're
it.
going to fight in towards turn 3, and I think they are still competing lap.
Yes.
This is their final lap, and we'll see, is there going to be a move for the lead? Tom Davidson just take it ahead of Sharp. Yeah, I think Kieran Sharp isn't going to fight that back unless he can get an exit. No, I don't think he's got the run, has he, down towards turn number 4?
No, he didn't. I was wondering what happens. Kieran made a mistake there. Because they're still, remember, they're still on the final lap here. That you can see no checkered flag next to them. The other drivers have already passed the line at that point. So this is up to Kieran Sharp. That's just what has gone on, what's gone wrong in the last dying stages of this race. Because is he out of fuel?
Yep.
No.
No, he's just backed off, I think. I think he's just going to take the championship. So he's obviously had 4 podiums. This is going to be his 5th podium this season. He's unfortunately only coming out the season with 1 victory. But great job so far this season from Kieran Sharp. He's going to have a gargantuan lap to 2nd and 3rd, and we'll see them shortly. I think he's just let him through. Just a decent move down towards turn 3 from Davidson. I think it seemed like Kieran Sharp did let off, but They come round and it might be he has run out of fuel, I'm not sure. They'll come in towards turns 9. Tom Davison will enter the final quarter to take victory in the final round here at the Red Bull Ring at the TSRC Sports Car Challenge, but it's not enough to take the championship as Kieran Sharp is slowly coming through towards turn 1.
He's out of gas, man. He's got me, look.
He's trying to push the car through towards the line. He will take the championship in quite an ending indeed for Kieran Sharp. And he's having to crawl to the line. Is he going to get through? I think he will. But he's going to push everything he can, push the car forward with his body. And he crosses the line. Kieran Sharp does take Peter, and he does take the championship here for the GT4 category, ahead of Jack Stayfield and Nils Core, unless Tom Davidson got into the mix there. But yeah, I think maybe he did run out of fuel at the end. We'll speak to him in a second once he pops up into the commentary box. Yes, that was an ending indeed for this race. Yeah. Millington retired. Kieran Sharp ran out of fuel, it seems.
Yeah, I think that it looks like they have run out of fuel as well too. Here's your unofficial but pretty much official results at the moment. There's the GT4s.
So yeah, Tom Davison takes victory ahead of Kieran Sharp by 16 seconds. It was 3/10 before turn 3. It was 16 seconds at the checkered flag. Ahead of Volodya in 3rd, Moss in 4th, Pike 5th, Long 6th. Then we have Hamling, Smith and Giles rounding out. I believe that Smith and Giles unfortunately did retire from this race. And we'll have a look at the LMP3 category, and it will be victory for Goli Kunshawa, who takes the championship now, ahead of Nick Clemens, who finished in 2nd, Maurice Pitcher in 3rd, Bash Schulter in 4th, and then we saw Josh Millington and Thomas Martin. I believe those two also retired in this race. But that gap between the top two in the championship coming out of this went from possibly being 3, but with the fact Millington retired, that puts that gap at, I think, 12 points between Kunshawa and Clemens. But it has been a great championship. I think we'll have a word from Kieran Sharp if he's around to have a quick chat with us.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just hopping over in a second. Yeah, exactly, because I wanted to find out what happened, obviously, with Millington, wasn't it? Because if he pulled over and just said, whatever he was doing last the first challenge, didn't want to maybe, I don't know, interfere. That was very, very strange.
That's the last.
And of course, was it fuel at the end of it? Because it just seemed very, very slow, wasn't it? I don't know why Kieran Sharp would want to give away a race win at the end of a season like that. He didn't need to.
Yeah, weird.
We'll have him here in a second.
He pops in shortly. Yeah, he said to us in the Discord he'd pop in. We can ask him a couple of questions. We can also ask him if he knew what happened to Josh Millington. Maybe, obviously, here he is. Kieran, can you hear us?
Hello, guys.
Hello. So first of all, congrats on the championship. But what happened there on the final lap?
Because the lead LMP3 did go an extra lap. I think they ran out of fuel as well.
Oh,
so he did run out of fuel.
Yeah, so because he didn't lap it meant that we had to go 1 lap longer, and I pretty much ran out of fuel and just managed to roll over the pit line, and I think Tom there also. I feel that he managed to go a bit more longer and take the win. Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, we're looking at you right now, and I just saw the 5th gear here and 6th, and you're just like, oh no, just on the absolute limit. Because I thought you weren't going to give up. That was a great battle you had. Your pits, and they came down to really at the end of the day, the pit stops, isn't it? Again, because you nailed it perfectly, and Tom made a little mistake in the pit stops again. And I've been like a broken record all season long. Practice your pit stops, and you nailed his, and then you got that gap after that. And then, of course, didn't expect that little last shift, isn't it? Because all the other drivers behind you already crossed the line, of course, because the lead had passed. But then you guys had to stay out one more lap.
I fueled up the car, anticipating for the lap less, and that's also why I was quicker in the pit stop, because I had less fuel to take on board. And I think I managed to save quite a lot of fuel in that first half, and Davidson didn't. So I gained quite a lot at the start, but yeah, he managed to. He fueled up just a bit more that he could.
Do you know what happened to Millington at all?
He also thought he was going to go a lap less. I was in a chat with him, and but he was then setting times way too quick, so it didn't. For him, it wasn't the white flag sooner than he thought, because obviously in.
But he pulled over completely somewhere, so I just thought, was that why? He ran out of gas?
He didn't have enough fuel to go around again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we need to get you drivers to a gas station when it comes to the race, isn't it? But yeah, that was it was fantastic racing. Were you really under the pressure there from Tom? Because you were battling it out hard. You were defending like mad for most of that race. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, I think my car was a bit quicker in some sections and his was in others, but that Mercedes has a lot of grunt and power, so you have to be quite defensive and be prepared to close off any moves. But yeah, the like middle sector as well, it was really quick, and I couldn't quite put the pace down there. But yeah, I just had to keep it clean, and that's why I was fuel saving as well, because I knew that that's the only thing I could have over him if I fuel save. And well, it nearly paid off, but clearly went too much on the limit there.
Excellent. Any questions that you have for the boss man there, Nathan? And we've crunched up, I think, the results officially, haven't we, Nathan, for what's happened
definitely.
for the season?
I haven't really got many questions at all, but I just want to say well done. Obviously, taking podiums, I think, in pretty much every round, apart from, was it Fujiway had a bit of a, it wasn't the most ideal race, was it? It was either Fuji or round 3, I can't remember exactly. But apart from that, you've done a great job throughout the season, obviously taking that championship. Jack wasn't here, and he was nil, so it was pretty much done deal at the start of the race. You just had to make sure you could make it to the end, because we didn't want to say anything too early, of course, because we know sometimes the most crazy things can happen. But yeah, and Kieran, sorry. Yeah, well done indeed, and enjoy that championship.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah, any last words you'd like to say to everybody in the league there? Of course, everybody tuning in. Thank you very much, DQ Dave there, Bobby, and Mimi. I think it is Mia. Get that wrong, but it's all been grand. Yes, Nathan. I'm sorry. He's gone. Sorry, yeah. Mr. Sharp, any final words?
Yes, been a mega season. First iRacing Championship, TSRC, and I think we've delivered for first championship. Some good people tuning in as well. Mr. DQ Dave has been a regular, and he isn't here as well, Stuart Pike. And yeah, obviously the guys supporting the races as well. Really good to see. Yeah, we plan to do more for sure, and I think we'll be having some sign-ups out in our Discord and on SimGrid very soon for some races early January next year.
Excellent. I see that at the moment, tsrc.club/Discord. Look at them up as well, too, on the SimGrid. Andrew Pike said you're fraud. Sharp fraud rigged out there in the chat. So.
Well, he did win the championship, and he's the owner, so
That's 50 penalty points coming your way, Andrew. Andrew, of course, he finished in P5 in class at the moment for the 57 Mercedes after dropping 2 places there, Andrew. So it is what it is. Thank you very much there, Nathan, of course, for commentating again. And we'll see if we'll be back or not, obviously, after the Christmas break.
We'll
yeah, yes. Exactly. So hope you want us back there at the moment in the league and everybody else. But it's obviously, I think, more of a break, isn't it? Enjoying the holidays there. It's a lot of tough work to put a league on there. So actually, big hats off to you, Mr. Karen Sharp there, for putting that on, because I don't know if I could ever do it, my friend. It's hard enough just broadcasting. To put a league on takes a lot of work, and thank you very much for that. That's it for everybody. Have yourself a fantastic Christmas for the Sim Racing Collective, and make sure you stay tuned for more racing. Follow the Discord, and say hi to Karen. Good night, everybody.